I think a lot of people are going into 2026 with the wrong mindset. They're either overly optimistic or they completely freeze.
Yeah, and I see people on the design side, they're designing for homes how they used to live and not for actually how we live now.
Which is quite risky, right? Because the margin for error, I don't think, is there anymore.
No, buyers are way more conscious emotionally and financially.
So today, we're going to focus honestly on what we think is really coming. No hype, no fear, just the reality. So welcome to Milesh and Sadie Property Talks.
We are looking at the property decisions from both sides, strategy and design.
Today, we're going to be talking about our predictions for 2026, the market, interest, rates, locations.
And what buyers are actually responding to inside homes. So, 2026, go. What are your predictions?
Wow. I'll go first, shall I?
I think so.
Okay, cool. Let's start with the market.
Yes.
So I'm just going to go for it.
Go for it.
So I think for me, the biggest factor was back end of last year with the budget.
Yeah.
Number one, it was really late on, November 25, 26th of November last year. Mm-hmm. There was so much noise from so early on that it just bred uncertainty and people were holding off making decisions. Things weren't being done just because of the fear of the unknown, I guess.
Yeah.
And I think with the budget happening, what that's meant is decisions have been made. So it's not that we love them or hate them, but it's a decision. Mm-hmm. And that's meant that people are taking action off the back of it.
There's a bit more movement.
Yeah, bit more movement. However, I think if I had to sum it up in a word, I think approach with one word, caution.
Caution. I like that.
So I think people are making decisions where they need to or where they might be forced to now.
Yeah.
But they're approaching it very cautiously.
Yes.
Which brings me on to interest rates.
Okay.
I'm just going there.
Go.
So interest rates have stabilized, if you like.
Yeah.
And actually what we're seeing is that, you know, the swap rates, which kind of lead to what the interest rates are going to do, are stabilizing. I think the challenge there is, whilst it is fairly stable, you've still got to be very, very clear on what your exits are, what your numbers are. And if I had to predict, I think rates will come down a little bit more.
Okay.
I think we'll end up at around the 3% mark by the end of this year. But again, approach with caution. So due diligence.
Yeah. So I'm guessing you want to make sure you've got enough of a buffer zone in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Don't over forecast or be overly ambitious on your numbers.
Yeah.
Particularly when you're looking at rates and things like that, because you know they're less likely to drastically go up or down.
Yeah.
So just factor that in, and I think you can't rely on rates or you can't force decisions because of rates. So if you go back to lockdown, for example, things are moving really quickly, right? So you had to decide quick if you wanted to remortgage or if you wanted to go and get lending or whatever. Now it's a little bit more stable, which is a good thing. So it's less about the speed of your decision, but it's the accuracy of the decision.
But at least that gives you time to actually put numbers on spreadsheets and
100%.
Really do your due diligence, which
Right
I know you love, rather than having to be rushed about those decisions.
Exactly that. And I think that is it for this year.
I don't think that's all bad. I actually think that's a positive.
Yeah.
Because I don't like that under pressure, having to make decisions quickly.
Completely. Because then you're thinking quicker, which could lead to maybe not the right decision being made.
Yeah.
Whereas now you can really plan it out better.
Yeah.
Knowing that the rates aren't going to do this.
Yeah. Just a sideline, as a developer, how did you feel about the budget?
So there was loads of noise.
Yeah.
Quite a lot of noise.
Quite a lot of noise.
Lots of things that were thrown out there didn't happen. I think from a developer perspective, it has brought certainty just through decision.
Yeah.
A lot of the Renters' Rights Act stuff we kind of knew about anyway, but the things for me were like the mansion tax.
Yes.
You know, there's been a dubbed down version of that.
Yes.
The exit tax, 20% on the way out of the country if you choose to leave. You know, all of those big things do have a wider impact on the economy. And therefore the property market. And whilst I've always said the economy and the property market are different, there is a reliance from one to the other.
Oh, 100%.
And so it's important to just have that overall kind of understanding.
Yeah.
So I think it's not all doom and gloom. Equally, I don't think it's like, the UK is a place to be thriving right now.
No.
Because there's loads of opportunity to start business or whatever.
And there wasn't very much clarity. Like that mansion tax came in, and I know that through some of my clients, but there's not enough clarity about how they're measuring that or what that's going to actually look like.
Yeah.
So that's tricky.
Evaluation of that 2 million.
It's just like we're chucking it out there, but we don't know what we're going to do with it.
Exactly. Exactly, yeah. So I think there are a couple of mine.
Yeah.
What are your predictions?
My predictions are, because we are in this cautious market, that people need to walk into a building and feel that the layout and the space is working. And I mean, it's nothing new that I'm banging on about layouts, but
layout over finish.
It's over finish. I love a finish. I don't want you to think I'm just going to go and never mind. At least you got the layout right.
Cushions, though, you love.
Yeah,
cushions.
oh yeah, just plain layout and some cushions. That's what you're going to get from working with me. No, I think the layout is so important. It goes back to, that's why I think it's not bad that we have time to look at the figures and to plan, because actually when you get that building, and I always divide between whether it's a long-term home or you're going to flip, you've got time to think, what are we going to do with it? What's our exit strategy? If we're going to stay in it for a while, are we also designing it as part of an exit strategy? And how does this space work? How is it going to work for the demographic that's going to buy it or rent it? And so how you're carving up spaces is, for me, number one for the 2026. It's really, really important. It used to be that as long as people walked in and there was a big open plan space, that everybody was chuffed to bits. But I'm saying it here now. I think open plan is sort of on its way out.
Ooh, wow.
I know. Now, not completely. I'm not saying that you're going to see walls going up left, right, and centre, but I'm getting a lot of requests for flexible layouts and zoning layouts. So whereas before it's like, yeah, knock down all the walls, let's just have everything open. It's now, but can we also have some sort of way of hiding and closing that room off, so that living room can be either a guest room or it can be something else, or it can just be a cozy living room in the evening. So buyers are a lot more discerning about space and about how they want to feel in the spaces. So that's
really interesting. So I've noticed, I'm not an interior designer, as we all know.
No judgment.
The need for a snug.
Yes.
So yes, it's great to have open plan kitchen, living, dining, but this whole snug thing, I think, is fairly recent.
I agree.
And almost embedded now, where it's a like it has to happen. And so closing off to have a space, call it a playroom or just a chill out room that's not in your big open plan space.
Yeah.
I think that's probably talks to what you're saying around the way things are moving a bit.
100%. And do you know what I think that is linked to?
Go on.
The well-being movement. I think everybody is so aware of wanting our homes to make us feel good in different ways that is why we are suddenly sort of craving more of a divide in our homes. And also how we use the different rooms to kind of help us, whether we want, like, the kitchen, the dining, we want big and we want sort of, so it's entertaining, it could be lively. But we also want like bathrooms that are like spas. That's really coming in.
Wow.
Bedrooms that are like, do you know what? Also, a big bedroom is actually not a big plus now. Lots of people are saying, I want to feel a smaller space and it's cocooning and it makes me feel that somewhere I can rest at the end of my very hectic day.
Interesting.
So all those sorts of things. And if you're getting into bigger spaces, then I talked before about the importance of a gym. I've had gyms and separate yoga rooms. If you're combining spaces, then it's often, I've got a guest room, but also can I make sure that I've got the storage and I can flip it into a gym quite easily. So buyers and renters are so savvy about what they want now. And you can see that already in commercial builds. If you're doing a big office block now, you're going to be putting out breakout spaces for gyms and for quiet spaces and all of that. And that is now filtering into the home.
I think as well, banging your drum for you, that whole multi-purpose.
Yes.
So the snug thing, going back to that a second, it could be a kids' playroom just to chuck all the toys in and shut the door.
Yeah.
Equally, it could be a evening room when the kids go to bed. You don't want to be in that massive space.
Definitely.
You just chill out in a smaller room. Could be an office.
Yeah.
So it serves a load of purposes. And I suppose, again, going back to your layout over finish,
the
layout needs to almost tailor to 3 or 4 different needs, where
Yes.
before it was just the one.
Yeah, 100%. I totally agree. And I think even like in the smaller flats, it's like, well, it's just open planning. That's what it is. No. Buyers want to see that there's some flexibility. There's some different ways they can use that space. So that's really important. And just touching on the finishes, I think we're moving away from that sort of throwaway mentality. Like, it doesn't matter, we'll change it in a few years or whatever. Actually, now people want things that are going to last. They want finishes that are here to stay. And so they do want to feel like there's some quality going into the home. That's not to say that you should spend absolutely ridiculous amounts if it's not going to line up with your ROI, but you need to just, it's not this kind of transcendent, that's the word, but you can't flip it and change it as much as we used to. And I think that's really important to remember.
Longer game.
It's a longer game.
Long term rather than short, sharp change around and back again.
100%.
Interesting. That's really insightful, Sadie.
Thank you, Milesh. I try to turn up and just add some value.
There's genuinely some good nuggets in there about, that whole use of space and layouts and stuff.
Yeah.
Pennies dropped. Well done.
Thank you so much. And just going back to that, the whole well-being and like the whole link to the environment. Also,
why don't you go back to well-being?
I want to say some more about it. Finishes that are environmentally friendly are also like really coming up. I wouldn't say that if you're doing a property to flip that you're only going to put in environmentally friendly materials, because they're really expensive, unfortunately. And so it's just not viable.
With my hat on, like, you've got to factor in the cost.
You have.
And so, it's a real difficult one because the willingness is there. But, the costs need to kind of meet that to make it viable.
I agree. But there's certain things like paint with low VOC things in it. Does that work? Low, VOC low things in it.
Greener.
Greener paint.
In colour?
Is not that much more expensive than normal paint. And it's, if you can walk in and say, and how many people have got some sort of an allergy to something. So if you can say, and just so you know, the paints that we've used or whatever, it's all environmentally friendly. It's something, isn't it?
It's a sale.
Yeah, it's a sale.
It's a bit like when you walk into a kitchen. Oh, we've got the cooker tap.
Yes.
We've got the quartz worktop. You can see.
Yes. It's another thing. It's another thing that's going to get listed 100%.
But that serves 2 purposes, right? One, if you're a developer and you're looking to flip stuff on down the road, regardless of what property type it is, whether it's a 1-bed apartment or a 7-bedroom house or whatever. So that is really good from a developer's angle. But also, if you're renovating your own house, then all of those things you're doing,
it's good for you.
For you as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I like it.
Are there areas in the country that you think are going to be rising up more than others in 2026?
Good question.
Thank you so much.
It's almost like you knew what my third thing was.
I didn't. It just came to me.
Yeah. Is that my third prediction? Yeah, it is. I'm joking. I think location is everything. But it goes back to strategy, area, property. So know what you want to achieve, whether it's income or capital, broadly speaking. So that's your strategy bit done. Then area comes in. So if you want income, then are you going to go and buy a 600 grand 2-bed flat in London that's going to kick out a couple of grand's worth of rent?
I'm guessing that's a no.
Right? Versus a property up north where it's going to cost you 100 grand and you get in 600-700 quid per month rent.
Okay.
Now the rental numbers are vastly different. But so are the purchase prices. So for the money that you've put in, 100 grand versus 500 grand. 600 quid back, so that's 7,200 quid a year on 100,000 property versus 24 grand on a 500,000 property.
Yes. I see what you're
Slightly
saying.
different.
It is. What if, we're talking about you have to have the 2 exits, really. What if you've bought this expensive place in London and then it doesn't sell and you have to end up renting it?
And that's why you need a second exit.
Okay, so you would have had to have pre-planned that.
Correct. Before you offer. So if you're looking at a 500,000 property that you think is going to be worth 800 after spending 100 on it, very crude with the numbers, but you get the idea, right? Then there's a profit in that. And the intention is to sell it.
Okay.
But what you need to also be doing before you buy on those numbers is, okay, if I had to go and get a mortgage and it's worth 700, not 800, then what's my mortgage payment going to be versus what the rents are going to be.
Okay.
And as long as after expenses you're breaking even or making a little bit, then that's your secondary exit.
Okay.
So if the market does turn, and guess what, London tends to be first in terms of what the general market's doing, and then things kind of filter out.
Yes.
So it's higher risk on a flip side of things. So having that, because it's in London and other areas that are, strong for capital growth, have that secondary exit from a rental perspective as well.
Okay.
Absolutely critical. Some people do 3 exits, which is even harder.
A 3 exit? I can't even think what the third exit would be.
The key in all of this
Yeah.
is buying right.
Okay.
So if you're going to be losing 200 quid a month if you had to rent it out, even though that's not your first intention, what do you need to be doing with that offer price to make that viable? Is that achievable? Do I need to go in at 400 or 450 versus the 500 that I could do on a flip?
Okay.
So all of that, then the pieces start falling into place, right? And then you're qualifying your secondary exit before you've gone into the deal. Yeah. And that's smart. Now, I'm not saying that's easy.
Yeah.
Because to find those types of deals where those types of numbers are going to work in those types of locations is a little bit harder. But that's when the graft comes in, right? You've got to look at that many more. You've got to view that many more. You've got to build that many more relationships.
You've got to do that many more spreadsheets.
Yeah. More due diligence to find the one that's going to deliver what you want at your price point. Wow. And welcome to the world.
It's a lot. Basically, 2026 is not going to be easy. So don't just think you're going to buy something, put a bit of paint on the wall and chuck it back on the market.
Yeah.
I think that's the big takeaway for it. You are going to have to work for it.
Yep. And don't over leverage.
Don't over
link to that, right?
100%.
Which is exactly what I've tried to demonstrate.
Yeah.
What's your last one then?
My last one is still, I'm afraid, linked to layout. Not that I don't love a finish. Although I will put this caveat in that I did say about the finishes that they need to be quality. I also do think put something unexpected in because you want something to grab someone. Yeah. You don't, everybody putting in the same thing, the same finishes that you're seeing over social media and all of that. It's just getting very boring, very the same. So if you can think of something that is just a little bit exciting, that's just surprising, that's also something that will really attract a buyer. But I touched on it in our previous video. Storage is everything. I can't tell you the obsessions and the amount. I always think if you've got reels after reels on Instagram, then you know it's big, don't you? And like I said before, it's not just a cupboard with shelves now. It's how can I get in my separate pantry? How can I have an incredible utility area, which I know sounds boring, but I think people are obsessed with their day-to-day routines becoming easier and slicker and almost more fun. Like we have to do these boring chores. So is there a way of glamorizing it in a way? And so anything that you can add into a property that ticks that box, whether it's even a hidden bar, they are massive on the up. I know that's not great for our well-being so much, although happiness. But I think just plan cleverly, basically the takeaway is you've got to put some work in. You have got to think and be above and beyond your competition.
Yeah, I think as well, people are at home for a lot longer than they ever used to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? So that naturally you'd expect something. So it's no major surprise if you really give it time and just think about it a little bit more. It's
true.
Right?
And even in the smaller flats, lots of people are working from home.
Yeah.
So you can't just assume that you'll just kind of carve it up into a couple of bedrooms and this open plan living space, because people are thinking, but I work from home 3 days a week. So where will that happen? You need to create this lifestyle for the demographic that you are going to sell to. You need to literally display it out easy for them to visualize themselves living there.
I'm not sensing any passion in this, really.
I'm just really generic about it.
Monotone Sadie about layouts and storage.
100%.
Brilliant. I think we've covered quite a bit there.
Yes.
So definitely. I think hopefully that has given some of our predictions in what's going on in the world of property from a development strategy due diligence perspective, as well as the design, the layout, that perspective, and storage. If you can take anything away, take storage away.
Definitely. Thank you so much. So next episode, I'm going to be sitting down to talk through architecture and unpack how professionals think about space. So I look forward to seeing you there.
Brilliant. Subscribe, share with anyone who's planning to move or doing a development. and we will see you in the next episode.